Good evening, Colin Belzer, Assistant City Manager. And for this month's progress report, we'll go through the activities. So in Public Works, they did some repairs on the radius of 15th and Pine where some brick meets asphalt and concrete, and they redid that section in concrete with some valley guttering improvements. Did some curb and gutter repairs in the 100 block of West 14th Street. Another radius area on 16th and Pine Street where they improved the intersection and the smoothness. And then also replaced a portion of half a road at 16th and Hall Street. Staff did do an inspection of the Lincoln Tunnel in advance of a relining project in 2021. They bravely or unwisely took me, so I did get a hard helmet out of the deal. In parks at the municipal golf course, they installed some forward tees in March, and they are ready to play late August or late July. So there's a picture in August, obviously, how they've turned out. Did some upkeeping at the bathrooms at Kiwanis Park and Abel Bickle, repainting the doors due to weathering and vandalism. They did stock the Vineyard Park pond with 100 pounds of channel catfish. This is actually something we do 4 times a year, and it's in part of connection with the city's agreement with the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism. They've started putting down some pre-emergent treatment in some of the parks to target little barley and broadleaf weeds around the amenities. In IT, actually at a request of a project I'm working on, that we updated the city property ownership map. The Hayes Police Department did a presentation at Little Sprouts preschools during their Superheroes Week. And then the police department also participated in a community meeting with Fort Hays State University students at the Pavilion for a dinner and open conversation. In water resources, we did have Water Conservation participate in a farmers market event. They partnered with K-State and promoted proper planning, water smart trees, mulch. There's some pictures of water smart Wally at the event. They did have a leak that they repaired on 305 West 38. So there's a lot of water, and I called Crispin and wanted to figure it out. So it was a slow leak that was seeping through, and when they exposed it, it ruptured wider. So they got that repaired. It was an 8-inch line and put a sleeve around that. This one you're probably more familiar with this, even though the water to me doesn't look as significant. It was a bigger leak at 27th and Walnut. A contractor doing a job for another entity accidentally hit our water line. It was a 12-inch line, so there was a lot of work that had to be done in terms of shutting off valves. It's an important line. So they got that repaired in a day, though. In CVB, we did host a limited bus tour, limited capacity bus tour. We took them on a trip around the county at the various churches and had entertainment for them. Janet Kuhn of CVB actually has created an itinerary for travel bloggers, and we hosted the 2 individuals on the right side of the screen looking at it have a website. They're based out of Kansas City, and so they came to promote kind of tours closer to Kansas City, and so we hosted them.
That's a really, really cool thing. How did Janet get connected with them?
I don't know, but I can find out.
I had just become familiar with travel bloggers is the reason, because we did some traveling, but I'm not surprised that Janet would get connected, but I'd like to know how she did.
Recently, they did have the 36th Annual Frontier Open Disc Golf Open September 12th or 13th, so we did take advantage of that and updated some photos and video footage of the course. They did limit participation this year by about 1/3 to maintain social distancing and help with that, so thought I should point that out, that event was doing the best they could as well. The Hayes Regional Airport, we improved that east access road, so this was an action that we actually came back to you to add on, if you remember. They replaced in front of the gate some concrete. They did some 2-inch asphalt overlay, and as the picture show, it's greatly improved. In project management, they completed the installation of sidewalk along West 27th Street and kind of in the area of Augusta Lane. This was approximately $19,000 worth of a project. The 700 block of General Custer. So this is south of Old Highway 40 near the water reclamation facility. On the north end, they improved it to concrete. And then past the entrance to the wastewater facility, they did an overlay. So you can see really the improvements there. We also completed the reconstruction, or JCOR completed the reconstruction of Lincoln Drive from 19th to 20th, and this was an $85,000 project. Chip seal was also finished. They did the multiple locations throughout the town, including the sports complex, Public Works parking lot, Frontier Road, portions of Elm, etc. And this was about a $101,000 project in our street maintenance program. And then in terms of the roundabout, as you know, we moved, or the contractors moved, traffic to the east side of Vine Street to allow for construction on the west portion of the 32nd, 33rd Street roundabout. They're working kind of in two sections. One's south of 32nd, and the other is north of 32nd near Whiskey Creek and Pheasant Run. Trying to get the street name still figured out. But you can really start seeing the shape take place. Another view of it being graded and then the actual poured area. And then they've also started working on the sidewalk to complete that and pave that sidewalk on the west frontage road. And then Skyline to 41st Street extension, they've been working on that with the earthwork. I've mentioned every week we get kind of an update of progress. We meet with them weekly too, but every week we also get a report, and they're about, as of Monday, they were 19% complete.